Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Again, I don't do the whole, face behind the camera thing, but that's alright. I'm starting to get used to it. So, if you're wondering the video that you just clicked on is a very special video because I'm here to tell you guys my history, the first several memories with Thomas and Friends. I know I'm about a little bit late and a little bit off, but that's alright, because I think that there's no other time to share Thomas stories than now. So, welcome everyone to these shared memories. And I have several trains that are behind the camera that I'm going to show off that will help me talk about them. So yeah, but we're gonna first I'm going to get some music playing so we can do this. Okay, everyone. Before this begins, I do want to clarify, this will not be going over Thomas and Friends like online YouTube nostalgia. This will just be nostalgia memories of mine. So this is how I'm going to fill you in, and I'm going to go through it one at a time. I'll also take a look at some home media DVD releases because I'm gonna do some of those. So yeah, we're gonna first start off with a very special memory of mine that really just sits rent free in my head and that just really just warms my heart. It kind of brings a tear to my eye. This is the very first Thomas the Tank Engine that I owned. Sun-faded yellow face, sun-faded wheels. Striping on the back. And then, yeah, I don't know how this happened. I was too young to even realize that this could even happen, but this like Leo Kim Video says, this has a lot of love, and it's very sweet. He's got a couple chips on his boiler bands there, but that's not too bad, and on his tanks, but I still love it. This one just screams nostalgia. Brings a tear to my eye. I also want to pull out my very first Take and Play Percy. This is Take and Play because it says 2009 Thomas Limited Mattel, or Thomas Limited Mattel Incorporated. So yeah, and it has several, if you can see here, scratches in the paintwork and stuff like that, but it's still fun. Now, I also want to bring up something else because at one point, my best friends, namely and Cam, they're now 20 years old and I'm 19, they're a year older than me, they were born in 2005, they played with Thomas trains, and they had a bunch of them, including the wooden railway breakdown train, the barrel cars, Derek, all of those. But what's interesting is, so I'm going to bring this out here. This is the Lee and Cam's Wooden Railway Derek, although they gave it to me since they didn't need it. And this Derek is incredibly banged up and the paint is all chipped out on it. You can't even tell it's him. And what's interesting is on the roof they wrote Heavy Hector since they were trying to make this an original character, and they already knew about Hector the horrid truck. And so I guess for this one, I don't know, but to be honest, that's bare wood on the bottom. It's very much scratched up. The back coupling is rusted, and it's overall a very old engine. And what's interesting is since they had the breakdown crane, they thought this blue barrel loader car, whatever you want to call it, went with it. And here's the crazy part. Yep, it says the crane on it. I think because we're little kids, they were little kids, and they had a Sharpie marker, they wrote the crane, but I'm assuming that's their mother Cheryl's writing, because the little kids is all sloppy and all over the place. But they also had the green flower car, and if you look, and this one isn't as banged up, it's just the ogie's all worn out. And if you look very carefully, you can see the word in texting printed, but it's hard to read. They also had a take-along, I said take-along, James tender, which I dirtied up and used as a scrap tender. It's weathered up in Sharpie and coal dust. I love the small wheels, and my grandfather actually put a shiny sheen on it to make it look better and glisten, to make it look much more better. Sorry if you can hear my dog. Now, we're going to get into one of my favorite and probably the memory that my mom remembers the most. That's very sweet, and it just brings a tear to my eye. And I really, to be honest, it's very sweet and endearing. So yeah, we're going to change this music. Alright. So, I am holding in my hands a 2009 Trackmaster Thomas. And this Thomas holds a very special memory for a very certain reason. This was my very first Trackmaster Thomas because of the chip in the forehead. It made him look like he had hair, and it reminded me of Mighty Mac, which you can find on Thomas's Milkshake Muddle, and this DVD, Come Ride the Rails. Shut up, Diamond! I don't want to hear that. Diamond, he's I don't want to hear him barking his head off. What is... Hang on, I gotta take an intermission here. Okay, I've calmed down now. It's all over with, so it's nothing to get upset about. Alright, so the reason this Thomas here is so like valuable and important to me is because he, like I said, he has that chip in his forehead that looked like he had hair from Mighty Mac, or similar to Mighty Mac, and he had sticker detailing. He had his window stickers up here, and he just was labeled 2009 Mattel Thomas, and this just felt so warm and special to me. It just was, it was heartwarming because the memory I have with this, there was a wooden train table in my parents' bedroom. I put up a Tomy track on it. I put this Thomas on there. At the time, he didn't run well, but he runs great now. And he, essentially, I myself, brought Gold Bomb baby powder from the bathroom, and I put it, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to have Thomas run, while I shook the powder as it was snowing. And my mom remembers that because I was like maybe 3 years old or 4 years old, somewhere around there. And she didn't like it. She was like, Max, what do you do? And since I was a little squirt of a kid, and I remember farting. And so yeah, I remember that. And I'll be honest, that was probably one of the best things ever. And it was a very sweet memory. My mom remembers. She tells people a lot. So yeah, I love this Trackmaster Thomas. I've restored it. I cleaned this thing to death. I removed the old stickers since they were covered in some sort of I don't know what it was. Then I printed out new stickers for him, as you see, front and back. I left this song. I didn't want this. I didn't know how to print it off, so I didn't want to have to test myself. But it is wearing down, but it's not terrible. So yeah. Now, since I was 3 or 4, I'm going to move on to another memory of mine. And it involves... Get it out. Hero Over the Rails. Everyone remember this movie? Can I tell you guys something fun about this? I actually went to see this movie in theaters with my dad, my grandfather, my grandmother, and myself. And as a dumb kid I was, so keep in mind, I was like, it was September 2009, I just turned 4, 2 or 3 months prior, 2 months prior, and so I was a child. And for this, here, I myself did not understand how a movie theater worked. And when Thomas didn't appear, I remember standing up. I was wearing a jacket and with a hood on it. I stood up, flipped the hood up, and pouted like a child. But I love Hero of the Rails, and this movie, along with Magic Railroad, Blue Mountain Mystery, and King of the Railway, and for me, Lost Treasure, being one of the best Thomas movies ever, because for all those movies, except Magic Railroad, I have memories of watching myself, and memories in general of, playing, this movie, as well as the other ones I've watched. Lost Treasure is a fantastic film, but I think my grandmother the reason my grandmother, and she says this a lot and tells me it to death, the reason that I liked Thomas and Friends, and why she did, was because of movies like this, but it was because they told stories. Yes, the Sharon Miller era was terrible, and I'll be honest, it's very boring. However, I don't think it's terrible. I think the movie is... Okay, not movie. I think the seasons are okay at best. And at worst, they're terrible. But if you take out the bad episodes, like the Wonky Whistle, Up, Up, and Away, the Early Bird, etc., ones like those, I don't think it's terrible. It's not bad. And to be honest, I'm nostalgic for it. And I understand if you don't like the Miller era, that's fine. You can respectfully leave your thoughts in the comments below. But for me, to be honest, I really didn't... I love the Miller era, and I will always cherish it and praise it for it being one of the best, for it being a nostalgic memory of mine, and I come back to it a lot to essentially relive the memories. And I want to just make this clear that I'm as much as I dislike now the Miller era, I have great memories of it, and to be honest, there's nothing more satisfying than putting on Splish Splash Splosh and reliving it. Sure, the stories the writing is pretty bad, but hey, Miller era is better than Wubba, Big World Big Adventures. So, moving on to the next memory. We all remember kindergarten? I do. It was a pretty thrilling time for me, although, unfortunately, because I do have memories of preschool, but there weren't many Thomas's memories with these. But anyways, with kindergarten, there is a very fun memory that I would like to, bring to your attention that is fun for me. And that involves Peter Sam, the character of Peter Sam. Shoot. So I'm just going to show you my take and play Peter Sam. It's a very special one. It's a classic. I painted the details like these things up here. I gave him eyebrows to put them rubbed off because I put my teeth on a lot of Thomas trains. Colored in the cylinders. Painted the back detailing. And the funny thing with this Peter Sam is this. In kindergarten, it was like my second year, I think it was. My second year. I myself, essentially, what I did, wrote Peter Sam on my papers. So, when you're in kindergarten, you have papers you have to do. I did papers, and on the name, I wrote, since I either couldn't remember my name or I didn't like my name, and because I like Peter Sam, I saw on Mountain Marvel on a season 12 airing, and for Peter Sam, because I liked him and because he's green, he's my favorite character. He's like Percy's my favorite color of green, but Peter Sam is a close second. I do like Peter Sam. He's a great character. Mwah. And all I want to say is for this is excuse me. The support teacher, in class you have the assistant teacher. It was a guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was going through the papers. I don't know if he was grading them or not, but he essentially said, when my paper came up and he saw Peter Sam, he said, and he looked at the list, and he didn't see the name. He said, he leaned over to Miss Carter, her name is Miss Carter, and said, "Do we have a Peter Sam in this class?" And Miss Carter said, "Oh, that's just Max. You can just, here, I'll take it off your hands." So yeah, who would have thought that this little narrow gauge engine and a little squirt like me at the time would have, who would have thought that we would have come together, connected, and we ourselves, Peter Sam became a household name. And I'll be honest, I love this Peter Sam. It's like the only one I have. This, I don't have any Wooden Railway or Trackmaster, so yeah. There's his name. But I find that memory amazing. And to be honest, I treasure that and cherish that memory a lot, because I myself could not ever, I love Peter Sam, and it's a great one. So we're going to go through a couple of these next ones here to speed this along. I'm going to show you my original Wooden Railway Thomas. Yeah, kind of banged up a little bit in the face. I was trying to make this a custom, giving him a white running board, but that failed. And his face got scratched and nooked by a butter knife when I was trying to saw the face off, making a Sammy Clark move. But this is like my childhood Thomas from childhood. And speaking of Wooden Railway, I'm going to bring out my other Wooden Railway ones in this little train thing. So, continuing with Thomas, we have 2010 Day Out with Thomas, Wooden Railway. I remember Day Out with Thomas very well. I loved it. Happy Birthday Thomas, based on Season 7, and there is a memory I want to talk about with this. I was always scared and terrified of the episode Trust Thomas and Haunted and Something in the Air from Season 5, because I hated how the characters crashed into a water hazard, and because I know water could drown, and I was a little 4-year-old at the time, so I didn't really, know how. I didn't know that since I know that engines can't swim, because I asked my mom, "Can engines swim?" and they said no. She said no, and so anyways, she herself, since they can't swim, whenever the music video Never gave up, I would always run and hide whenever Thomas's crash would go on, come back and see Edward. Then I would go back and hide once Henry came on, because I knew that Henry would crash into the water. But this is based on Season 7, and I never wanted there was a Season 7 DVD called called 3 Cheers for Thomas, and I regret I regret my mom not getting me that DVD, because I really wanted that because I now want that DVD so bad. It would complete my Series 7 DVD, because I got New Friends for Thomas, Percy Saves the Day, and Thomas and the Really Brave Engines. So yeah. Here's my childhood Wooden Railway Percy. It's got a rusted coupling, and then the side of the boiler and top is worn down. It's got the back detailing to Adventures Percy. My only Wooden Railway Clarabelle. Here's another interesting one. This probably happened with a lot of kids to wooden trains. Henry, without his tender. So when I got this Henry, so you can see he's worn down. He has NWR buffers on the back, buffers on the front, and for whatever reason I had like a brown marker. It was like a Crayola one, and I marked up on his face by accident. But it's okay. This Henry, I had a dream that this Henry was in the CGI universe. This Henry was chuffing through the Whistling Woods, and it was Series 12 styled, and Henry was chuffing through it like this, with the light coming through the trees. It was daytime, and it was, I had a dream his face was CGI. Well, no, it was a model face, but I had a dream it was also CGI because, to be honest, for me, at one point, I really wanted Thomas and Friends to stay in the model series since I loved it. Yeah, I'm nostalgic for series 10, 11, and 12. And I'll be honest, even though those seasons are pretty bad, I like them. They're more entertaining than seasons 13 through 16, but yeah. I wanted them to. I thought when they were going to do CGI, I thought with the models they were the TV models were similar to the Wooden Railway models, but that wasn't the case. But it's okay. And again, I was a dumb kid, but I love this Henry. He has no tender. I lost the tender, but it's at one point, and I now don't have a tender for this Henry, which is a shame. Classic Wooden Railway James, 2003. Missing eyebrows and paint on the running board. Standard James. He's worn down, has some edge wear to him. Here's his tender. That's a 3D sticker. And then this James was at the bottom of a box, clean, with, surprisingly, at my dad's for years, without the tender again. It's in better condition, and I actually added those buffers and circles. And yeah, I love this James. And again, just like with the Henry, there's no tenders. Original Wooden Railway Toby. Not much to say about him, other than he's a great toy. I also, for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I thought, since I knew Toby had 6 wheels on the bottom of him, but I never liked how the toy only had 4 wheels. So that's bothered me. This is my original Wooden Railway. It says Bill on the bottom, B-I-L-L. And I painted him black because I wanted him to be Paul, or Pug. Yeah, Pug. But I regret it now. That's a bit wash can do. But yeah, this is a 2003 bill. Next up we have, so I'm going to actually put, so before I get to her, I'm going to pull out my Emily. For Emily, here it is. This is my original Emily from a child. Again, worn down. I liked it, although I always thought she had a weird face. I think it was because of the eyebrows not being rubbed off. But I liked how she had a big wheel, and she looks symmetrical on both sides. There's her name and the legally information. And it says 2003. And there's her tender. And you want to know something funny? This Emily tender, since the axles are kind of off on the wheels here, the tender wobbles. See it wobbling? For whatever reason, the axles are made weird. Now, we're going to get into Lee and Cam's Wooden Railway Diesel 10. So this is, like I said, Lee and Cam. Here's their Wooden Railway Diesel 10, and I wore this down after a while. The face is kind of worn up, or the face is, the print on it is worn down. This is exposed wood. This thing is pretty much loose at this point, but I like it. The only thing that's really stayed in detail is this side and the back. I love Diesel 10. He's a great character. I'm so sad that he... Oh, and then here's the bottom. I'm so sad that his last appearance was the Thomas and the Missing Christmas Decorations. Or the Missing Christmas Decorations. Yep, and his wheel says 2003 like the all of them. And that's how his thing goes. I remember watching a lot of videos on YouTube about using this Diesel 10 here. I found it cool. Now, we're going to get into... I just want to bring him up because I remember, for whatever reason, I have a very vivid memory with this Billy train here. This Billy, for whatever reason, whenever I had my hands on him, his nameplate would wear down. All that like detailing on the sides would wear off. I think I also dropped him a lot. His face and running board area is all worn down too. But But yeah, a very loved Billy model. I only have the Trackmaster and the Wooden Railway Billy, not to take along. There's a bottom. So yeah, not much more to say other than Diesel D199 turned Billy into a better character. I will say that, and that's the thing. Whenever Thomas Wooden Railway did that episode about Billy, he would have his hands all over this Billy. But when I put my hands on him, he wore down. I was always sad about that. Getting back to, so moving on from the, so yeah, moving on here, we have the wobbling and giggling troublesome trucks. Now, as you can see, this is from 2003, and because this is based on the troublesome trucks with the model series episodes. This one, unfortunately, since it's leaned to the side for years, it's lost the wobble. It's very much worn down, as you can see, and the edge wears are all exposed. This one, not too bad, other than the chassis block being that way. This one, the front magnet is lost the magna poles. And if you press it, does nothing. So yeah, and yeah, this is I don't know what, this one I just don't know, I think it's just because of the age of the toy, it's all old and worn down. Although I will be honest, I do remember a Thomas and Duck story of Duck's close shave or whatever it was, and I remember Duck, or I remember Thomas pulling the train. It wasn't Thomas, it was it wasn't Edward, it was Thomas. And Thomas had this truck without the face. And this thing was orange instead of red. It might look orange on the camera, but it's not. So yeah, getting out of the way. The only thing to say about Alfie is he has a rusted coupling error, and that he is the oldest pack vehicle I have. This is also from Lee and Cam, but him and Byron are the only Wooden Railway pack vehicles I have. No Jack, no Kelly. Oh, my nose! And here's Byron. Again, just like with Alfie, the only thing to say about him is at one point with the sticky treads, I was pushing him. I thought he was a race car, but he wasn't. And when Thomas Wooden Railway took his treads off Terrence for that unboxing video 10 years ago, he used the treads for the Mattel Wooden Railway Oliver. I did the same thing, although I had to cut it since there was no way to get it out, and I ended up the cats ended up destroying them. My mom rescued them, and I had to throw them away. And Byron is treadless. Sad. Wooden Railway Max, or it's Monty. I ended up losing his bucket, but I had a Wooden Railway Max and Monty, but for a reason the things came off. They were so plastically and flimsy, and because the 16 wore off, I drew the 16 on with pencil, and it still stayed there. It still works, but now Monty looks like a lorry. Now we're going to move on to Molly. This was my Molly for years, and I loved her. This was Lee and Cam's, but it was mine. And just like with James, I forgot to mention with James, on both the Jameses and this Molly here, they have golden couplings, and the Molly name is in gold because this was the Roll and Whistle series, and they were going to, you know, when they rolled over that piece of track that was red, it would voice the shot hat would voice it. The reason Molly's wheels are red was because I changed this. I made this into a Wooden Railway axle of Belgium from the Great Race, because when I was into the Great Race, I wanted a custom, a Wooden Railway version of this so bad, so I recycled one. Not the best move. The face is all kind of walked out. That's supposed to be an eyebrow, and yeah, the eyes are just kind of all wobber-jawed on this thing. The tender's still in good use, despite those are red buffer beams. And then this Molly, my mom brought it home from work. It had detail until the detail wore off. But it was a friend from work named Robin, a woman at my mom's work. She found this since her son didn't want it. There's rusty coupling. She gave it to me, or she gave it to my mom because they know I like trains. Who doesn't? And so she came home with this, walked to the kitchen, and I loved it. It was Molly. And she had the detail, it's just her eyebrows are fading and the top of this is fading with the handrails and her safety valve. But it's in good condition. And yeah, so, to go back to Take and Play, I loved Leo Kim videos Take and Play Diesel 10, and here's mine. Yep, and I love this Diesel 10. I think it's probably the best one. It's heavy, although like with others, the grime has worn off, and the dirt and stuff is kind of worn down on the bottoms here. It's all kind of worn out, but thankfully the print for the bogies and the things have stayed intact. It says 2009 Goulayne. It's got a pinchy that's able to spin 360 and do all that. It rests up here. And this thing is, it's amazing. I like to do this with it. There's the back, by the way. I like how there's a little thing for it to rest in here. And if you look very closely, you can see Diesel 10's magnet is all banged up because I kept bashing this with other magnets. Like Diesel 10 takes charge. So, we pretty much looked at everything here, important anyways, except for a few things. So we're going to go back to 2012 for a minute, and we're going to take a look at Trackmaster Douglas. Doesn't work, unfortunately. What a shame. But this Trackmaster Douglas, the stickers are worn down on this thing, so on the nameplate there you can see it on this thing here, and then on that. He had a red buffer beam, but I painted it black because it looked too toy-like, and I wanted this to be as close to the toys as they could. So yeah, I love the Trackmaster Douglas, even though, and I liked his face, even though Donald and Douglas, the only major role they had was on Thomas Percy and the Dragon. I do remember them, at least, I remember the fun, and I remember their Scottish accents by George Carlin, and I just so desperately wanted a Trackmaster Donald, but that didn't happen, and I have this Trackmaster Douglas instead, which is fine, but I gotta get that Trackmaster Donald. The tender is all plastic, and if you hear that stuff rattling around, those are weights from a Flynn, or I think it's a Gordon or a Flynn, one of them, and I added in here to add some weight because, as you can see, it's all plastic axles. There you go. I like the realistic coal load on here. I like the stickers, although these ones are wearing down, although you probably can't tell as much. Like that. And I got this when my cousin Douglas was like 4 or 5 years old. 5 years old. He's now 10. Like 10 or 11, I think. So, wow. And I brought this, and I told him, I brought this to a Halloween trick-or-treat thing once, and I told him about it, him and his mom, Kyla, but, and they liked it, and I remember hearing a lot of "aww," but unfortunately, I wasn't willing to part with this since I liked it, but if I so badly want to get like a Trackmaster Donald and Douglas pack or whatever I can, that way I can give this one away to Douglas, but since he's 10, he probably doesn't want it, so I might just use it for something else, or give it away in a prize, I don't know, but yes, even though Donald and Douglas this was a 2012 model, even though they did not appear until Lost Treasure in Season 20, I'll be honest, I do like this, and this is a really good model of Douglas. It really kind of makes me feel complete, because he's like a steam team. And I love him Scottish. I love his Scottish origins. And I love my favorite episode from Season 2, actually, besides Percy and the Coal, is the episode, it's Thomas and the, Donald and Douglas. And Brake Van, of course. I really like those because it was fun, because of the accident, the Brake Van, and Donald Douglas, and I liked the crash. I liked it when Donald Douglas slid backwards on the track and he crashed through the wall. And we're gonna and to wrap up 2012, I'm gonna bring back this one, which is Blue Mountain Mystery, the movie, in a slipcover. We already covered this in the on the DVD form, so I'm just gonna show you this. The thing that I liked about this movie was the music. Diesel, Thomas, Luke, and Victor. Victor has become one of my favorite characters. I also liked Owen. Merrick is nothing. Owen is a character, and I found this fun. I like the narrow gauge engines. I love the return of them. The first thing that was surprising to me was the prologue. I think Winston is the funniest character, and that pretty much summarizes in a nutshell what I love about this. And this has a Walmart sticker on it. Never taking that off. But yeah, what was interesting was, if I slip this off, if it says on the back, track down the clues and uncover the mystery. Well, what's interesting is they didn't do a good job covering up Luke's name, because you can see Luke's name right there, and then although they try to do it down here too. But yeah, Luke, Paxton, Winston, Victor, some of my favorites from the CJ series. I think Paxton is a little buffoon in this film, but I'll be honest, it only took me until, I didn't realize that it was, dang it, I didn't realize that it was Steve Kindman, who played Fireman Sam, who also played Paxton, and Duck, and so many characters, and I'll be honest, that's just amazing. I think Steve Kindman is probably the most committed voice actor ever, and he deserves a lot. And I'll be honest, even though this DVD to come afterwards wasn't the best, I still liked how this had a Blue Mountain Mystery trailer on it, and this had a fun game to it. We will get to this. I'm going to cover this in December, so I'm going to promise you that. Then I'll be honest, I do want to talk about a few other DVDs and just kind of go through them. My brother Colton, my biggest brother Colton, who's 30 now, he got me this DVD for Christmas 2014, I think it was. I loved it because of just everything about it. It was so warm and cozy and fun. And I think Snow Tracks is a decent episode. Tale of the Brave. There's a story to go with this. I was with my dad in Walmart one time. I have 2 of these, by the way. Okay, 3 of them. And my dad and me were getting groceries. It was like 2015 or whatever. I saw this on a DVD rack. So I had to go to the restroom. When I saw this on DVD rack, I went to use the restroom and go potty. When I came back, I picked this up, and because I told myself I knew I had to have it. My grandparents already had it, but I wanted it since I was going to watch it tonight. There it is. This is a pretty darn great film. I love it. Mwah. And when I got back to my dad at the shopping cart, he was talking on the phone to one of his friends, and I showed it to him, and he just kind of blew it by, and I put it in the cart. And when he was eventually, when we got to done talking on the phone, he started talking to me and saying, "Maxie, why did you get the DVD? What is it?" I showed him it. I told him all about it, and he just said, "Well, why?" And I told him, "Well, because I liked it." He smiled, but he just kind of thought, "Well, you should have run that by me first." And that probably was the right thing to do. I think that this is Tale of the Brave is one of the best. I think it's a pretty good film. I think it's a step up from King of the Railway. It has a start, middle, and end to it. So yeah. I also this one here. This was this DVD, as well as I think the best Thomas Christmas DVDs are, in my opinion, are Merry Winter Wish for the game and Mr. Perkins, Ultimate Christmas, Santa's Little Engine, and this one. This one, I love the poster art, love it all. I love I love Universal and the fun about it. The bonus feature, I love that song, and I also love Mr. Perkins. But this one had an episode called Last Train for Christmas. All the episodes on here are amazing. I love the episodes on here. Connor is an amazing character. I love his character. I love the Slip Coaches. The episode Last Train for Christmas, it's basically the Polar Express in 8 minutes. That's what I love about it. And this one is so amazing. And it only took me, once I started getting a collection of the DVDs, that Thomas and Friends was owned by Universal, and I didn't realize how cool that was until now, and that was just so amazing. So yeah. But getting back to King of the Railway, so many ads. The thing about King of the Railway, I have 2 of them as well. Just gonna, get this one back where it belongs. Here, King of the Railway, I liked it because, again, the poster art, the music, the characters, it's a great story. I think Steven is one of the best characters. My grandmother loves Hero, Victor, Kevin, Luke, Paxton, and Steven. And they're probably one of the best characters ever, and I love them to death. And this one with Steven is probably one of the best new characters. He just feels so complete, and it would just like he kind of fits into Thomas like a glove. And it's just hard to imagine Thomas Friends without Steven. This also had a Trackmaster, classic Trackmaster on it, and I'll be honest, I miss the classic Trackmaster to death. Oh, I wanted to show the inside. I think it is sad that Trackmaster has gone through so many changes in the span of 11 years, and I just wish so badly that we could go back to the classics. I'm done. I'm tired with everything Trackmaster 2 and Motorized. I like the new 80th anniversary merch. I think we should go back to the classics. Go Thomas. Do you think I should mention about this? I think it's a great DVD because of the pamphlet and Stafford. I just want to go over this again. So this one features, I so badly wanted everything on here. The Take and Play set, the Stafford. I got the Stafford. I wanted the wooden railway, all these wooden railway things here. I just loved it. I just missed the wooden railway. It was so amazing. Even though I grew up on Take and Play, then Trackmaster, then Wooden Railway, I love it. I love all the merchandise, and it's sad that we can't go back. But we have these DVDs to remember us. So yeah. Then, this movie, Lost Treasure. I watched this movie on repeat all the time. In 2015, I loved it. This movie was basically Raiders of the Lost Ark to me, and I have it. Here's the DVD, and here's how scratched up it is. Here is the crinkled up pamphlet. It's all wrinkled up, and this is really where Trackmaster really started to go down. Trackmaster, Take and Play, and a little bit of Wooden Railway started to go dip in quality. I think the Trackmaster Shipwreck Rail set, Mike and Ryan and Thomas are pretty bad. The Take and Play Mike Rex, pretty bad. I got 2 Take and Play Rexes. Ryan is okay. Skiff is pretty good. Salty's amazing. I still have that Salty. I think this Misty Island set is pretty cool. I have the Wooden Railway Oliver. I did not get any of these books. I went to Thomas Land. I played this app. There's the applesauce crap that I loathe and love. Day Out with Thomas. Oh, I just love this. Then we have this. So, Lost Treasure is probably the best Thomas movie, and for me, it screamed finale. If Thomas and Friends ended right here, I would have been satisfied. But it didn't. Now, The Great Race isn't terrible. It has some great songs. But I don't think it's a good finale. But I think Journey Beyond Sodor works as a better one. it was around this point in Thomas where I was getting older. I was 11 years old. I was 12 years old. Merchandise, my mom was getting older. She had a different job, and she had a job change. I don't hate this movie. It's a great film. I loved it when I first saw it. There was only one thing that confused me. And that was this. I think I'll be honest, this is a pretty good change. I wish we could have gotten this back in Tale of the Brave, season 18. So yeah, reeling this back. What are these ones? My dad did buy me these. I had these at his house for years. It was, it's Christmas Carol and Tales on the Rails. I loved them. I just wish they had a game. I think it's probably one of the best ones. And I didn't care that the picture quality was bad. The picture quality being poor was something that I just loved. Because it felt like older film reels. We got this, which my mom got me a couple, well, kind of. I bought it myself. I love Terrence. He's back, baby. This probably is the best Thomas DVD ever to go out on a finale. And there's nothing else better than it. To wrap up the DVDs, Team Up with Thomas, Universal reprint. And it's the standard, Universal one. I have a slipcover for it, Valentine's Day themed. I'll go get that. Team Up with Thomas! Yeah, you can tell why this DVD is... Yeah, that slipcover. So yeah, I love these Thomas DVDs. They were a hoot. I still hold on to them and collect them, and I love them. And then, yeah, and I'll be honest, as much as Big World Big Adventures was pretty bad, I still have memories of it. Granted, by the time the Big World Big Adventures series ended, I think it was terrible. My last true good memory with Thomas and Friends was Thomas and Friends: The Royal Engine. I watched it on premiere day. I watched it when it came out, and I watched it over the weekend after it came out. I loved it, and I missed it. I'm excited. Right now, I'm just going through a bit of emotion, and I wanted to just thank you all for watching. I know this video is incredibly long, and I know you guys want to get back to your programming, so we'll do that as soon as I can. We're going to wrap this up, so I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and very much, for just, in general, thank you, Thomas, for being a friend, being there for me. Thank you for those memories, treasured memories that I hold dear to my heart. I still think this is the best Thomas memory ever. I want to say thank you again for watching. If you, that's right, you, have any Thomas memories you want to say, comment them down below. I know the YouTuber Bill, shout out by the way, with a SpongeBob promo, he comments on a couple of my videos, and I want to say thank you, man, for that. I really appreciated the support, and tell your friends, share my channels, let your friends know. So yeah, and I just want to say you guys are amazing people. Keep buzzing the good buzz and fighting the good fight. You do a fantastic job, everyone. And to wrap this up, again, thank you for watching, and I don't think I would have made it this far without, a little blue tank engine by my side. So that's something special to be proud of. So yeah, I appreciate the praise, everyone. And with all this being said, have a great night, everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next one.